Hi, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing Leetcode problem 824, Goat Latin in JavaScript. This is considered an easy problem. I definitely agree with that. Alright, so you are given a string sentence that consists of words separated by spaces. Each word consists of lowercase and uppercase letters only. We would like to convert the sentence to Goat Latin, a made-up language similar to Pit Latin. The rules of Goat Latin are as follows. So before I read this, we're basically going to handle this in three main sets, three main problems. We're going to divide this problem up into three main problems. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to split it up into an array. So I just look at the input here so that our array has each of these words, right? And then we're going to do all this stuff to that word and then push it into a result array and then rejoin it into a string, right? So other than that array business, step one would be to look and see if the word begins with a vowel, right? If it does, you append MA to the end of the word. For example, the word apple will become apple ma. Step two would be to check if a word begins with a consonant, right? And if this is the case, remove the first letter and append it to the end, then add ma. So goat would be oat gma, right? Then the final step is to, whether it starts with a vowel or a consonant, we're going to add one letter A for whatever number letter it is, right? So if it's whatever number word it is. So if it's the first word, we add 1A. If it's the second word, we add 2 A's. If it's the third word, we add 3 A's, fourth, 4, right? And then we just join that array and return it, right? So I Speak Go Latin is going to give you this output. Okay. So we really only need this example. This example really doesn't expand anything. It just kind of shows you, a longer sentence and more A's being added, right? But this is all we need. And there's really no gotchas to this one, which was nice. So here's our variable. It's coming out a result. Create a function, call it func. So, like I said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to split sentence into an array. Just call it array. So we're going to set that to array.split. Sorry, what am I doing? Sentence dot split. And I should go ahead and return array for now. We gotta log to the console, of course, so we can see what's going on. Okay. So in order to get to just see the words together, like a string of the entire word, we need to split it on the space, right? Cool. And then we're gonna loop through that, do all this stuff to it, and then go ahead and push it into a result array. So let's make that. Send it's an empty array. So for right now, we're just gonna return a result. And at the very end, once we finish writing all our code, I'll join it. But it's nice to be able to see each individual word as we do this. Okay. So now we're going to loop through array. And I'm going to use the map method, because why not? We'll call each word. For now, let's just console.log. Jeez. Word. Yep, we see each word. Okay. So first thing we need to do is we need to check if the first letter is a vowel. So in order to do that, we're going to create an array called vowels. And we're going to put into vowels every vowel. Okay. So now here, oops, we can check and see if vowels dot includes word as 0 dot to lowercase, because we didn't put any uppercase vowels in there. Whoops, I screwed that up. So that will convert the first letter to 2 lowercase. Right, and if that's the case, right, we constant log I, but what we want to do is we want to say word, I'm going to add ma to it, plus, oops, plus equals ma. Now that I'm thinking about this, I think I'm going to do this differently. Let's get rid of this. This will, I didn't do this previously, but now that I'm thinking about it, let's get all the words that don't start with a vowel. Good. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just look at that, and then if any word that doesn't start with vowel, we're going to take the first letter and move it to the last. So create a variable called first. Set that to word at index 0, and then const last. And we're going to use the slice method on word. Got that. Slice 1. Now word is going to be last plus first. And if we result dot push word, there we go. So any word that didn't start with a vowel, we move the first letter to the last. We also need to add ma to it. There you go. Then the last thing we need to do is handle this. So add one letter A to the end of each word per is word index in the sentence starting with 1. Okay. So we're going to need an index now. And what we can do is I'm just going to create a variable called A. And I'm going to set it to I plus 1, right? Because arrays are 0 indexed, and that's not the way this is working, right? So the first word at index 0 is going to get 1 extra A, right? And then the second word at index 1 is going to get 2. So we need to say plus 1. I'm going to comment that out for a second, because I don't want to create an infinite loop. I'm about to do a while loop. So now we can say while a does not equal 0, we're going to add word plus equal a. So here and then here we're going to decrement a. Okay? So now, let's uncomment that and we should see, yeah, this is what we want. Right? Cool. So what's happening here, right? So for this first word, right, we start with a is going to equal 1, so it doesn't equal 0. We hit this while loop, and we add 1a to word, and then we decrement a, and it's 0. So then we're done with the while loop. So then for the second word here, a is going to equal 2. So we go in the while loop, and we add an a. We decrement down to a to 1, and then we go to the while loop again, and we add another a. So there's 2 a's at the end, right? And then we decrement a again, and then a is going to equal 0. We exit the while loop. So that's how that's working. Okay, and then finally we just need to join this together on a space. There you go. Cool. All right, so let's grab all this code. Let's move on over to Leetcode. Make sure it's working. Let's format our code. Run the test. Submit. Alrighty. Solved it, and it is fast. I love that. Okay, hopefully you found this video helpful and enjoyable. If you did, please give it a like. It helps my channel to grow. If you want to see more like these, please like and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you again real soon.